I got a jar of dirt. I got a jar of dirt. Hey, Matt, get over here. I got a jar of dirt.
Do you want this, Sam?
You got a jar of dirt too.
Impossible jar of dirt.
Oh, I'll trade you.
You can have your stubby.
Thank you. Thank you. I got a jar of dirt.
With a golden scoop.
With a golden scoop. Jar of dirt. I got a jar of dirt. And guess what's in it? So we're back in the studio today. We have Matt's crevicing tools and his Paydirt that he made for me. This has supposedly got a lot of heavies in it. I was talking with Matt and he's like, I made this a challenge for you, buddy. This is the moment you've been waiting for. The moment of do where we crack open this beautiful jar of Paydirt that supposedly has 1 gram of gold in it and see if our panning skills are, well, what they seem. So we are going to extract this with a number of methods. The first method, we are going to take all the iron out with a magnet. But there is a lot of stainless steel in here, which isn't really magnetic, so we'll see how we go with that. So Matt has courteously given me a little mini scoop for my live streams. Little golden scoop. We're going to use it today, but little golden scoop. Okay. Oh, this is just torture. All right, pour him out. He told me he swept his workshop and gave me the base from his workshop just to torture me. Okay, looking at that, that's really quite dense and it's full of iron filings, iron shavings, stainless steel and whatnot. So there's going to be a bit of a challenge. I might have to sift through it before we get it into the cleanup system. Start off, we're going to use a neodymium magnet. Just see what comes off. Okay, so doing that has removed a big chunk of iron filings out of that. That is a lot of bulk. There probably is still a little bit of gold in there. I am going to go through that at a later date and see if I can recover anything that I've missed. But we'll just see what we get out of the initial weigh. Now the rest of this, there is still a little bit of magnetics in it, but it's mostly stuff like this. That's stainless steel. Now, that's notoriously hard to remove because it does have things like chromium and zinc and stuff like that, stuff that isn't magnetic. Okay, so the next form of gold extraction we're going to do is we're going to classify. Now I've got 2 different grades of classifiers here. One is slightly smaller than the other. And classification is important because it allows the gold to be trapped in individual categories and not get washed out so easily. It allows the water to determine the density without, too much interference. Yeah, all we do is we tip the Paydirt into the classifier, give it a good shake. And that's all that's left. That one can go back in there. Now this one's going to be a bit more tricky, but shouldn't affect it too much. So now that we have our 3 different grades, we've got our very fine. We're going to process that in a second. And these 2 here, they're going straight on the milling table because they're already pretty well graded. I don't need to run them through the cleanup process first. Okay, welcome to the next step. So this is the prospecting buddy from DreamMat, prospectingstream.com. This is designed to act like a little mini sluice to just do your little cleanups and stuff. So before we get started with this, we've got to wet this, and then we're going to start feeding it manually into this little sluice. Now, without coming across as a paid promoter or anything like that, I'm not promoted by them. I actually genuinely do love this thing. This thing is an amazing little cleanup tool. Love it. I would not be where I am with my lives without this little tool. Turn it down. We don't want to spray gold everywhere. Okay, we're ready. Let's turn this bitch on. So essentially what we're going to do now is we're going to feed this cleanup sluice with this little gold scoop. And what it's going to do is it's going to concentrate all that gold and all that black sand, getting rid of all the overburden. Nice and slow. So yes, this is going to take a little while. Just look at that gold. Whoa. That's that really fine Reedy Creek gold. Oh, Matt. You're making this a challenge, buddy. You're making this a challenge. Okay, so next up on the agenda is we have to clean this out. And it's going in the snuffer. Doesn't take long. And then what I'm going to do is I'm then going to take the tailings that we got from there and run it through another mode of cleanup, the blue bowl, that my mate has so graciously lended me for this video. Into the snuffer she goes. This is the blue bowl. Now, the idea behind the blue bowl is it spins and centrifugal force sends the gold down while everything lighter spins itself out. It does work, and it works really effectively, but it takes a long time. Okay, so I'm going to turn him on. Takes a little bit just to get started. Okay, turn him off. That's what we're left with. Now, the blue bowl does not do a great job at collecting all the black sands and just turning it out, but does a good enough job that we can just take this and put it straight on the milling table and see what we lost. Okay, so with the help of the blue bowl, I've reduced those concentrates again by another half. Okay, let's get that onto the milling table. Okay, those that are unfamiliar with my milling table, so this is a homemade contraption, just made with a bit of PVC pipe and an invoice tray, with a bit of textile matting just to give it a bit of texture so it grabs onto it. With a water reservoir underneath and a little fish pond pump. Let's clean this gold. So we're going to start with the largest caliber That's going to go through pretty quick, and it's highly unlikely that there's going to be any gold in there just because Reedy Creek rarely has anything of size in it. Following with the next caliber. Now, this is only slightly smaller than that. And then we're going to move on to the stuff we cleaned up with the cleanup buddy, and then the stuff with the blue bowl. All right, guys, got to get that glitter. Turn him on. Now, as I said, this just runs on a fish pump. It's not overly effective, but it does clean the job really, really well. We are moving on to the one from the prospecting buddy. So we know this one has gold in, so we're going to take our time with this, okay? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to time-lapse this, and then we're going to talk about it after, okay? So we're going to dump him on now. Okay, just look how clean that is. Now, I'm no expert, but that's pretty well close to a gram. Well, somewhat of an expert. I reckon that's pretty well close. I don't think there's going to be much from that blue bowl. Okay, we're on to the stuff from the blue bowl. She's some pretty dense stuff, so give him a good shake and we'll tip him out onto the table. Okay, look how much actually just blew through in just the run with the cleanup sluice. Not a lot, considering the grand scheme of things, and I was running it somewhat quick. Anyway, into the vial she goes. Okay, look at that beautiful, beautiful gold. Just look at it. There's a bit of black stuff in there, but that's just a sad reality about trying to clean very fine gold. Anyway, I'm going to dry this out and weigh it and see how well we are off the mark. But I think that's pretty well close to a gram. Might be a bit off my mark, but I don't think that's quite a gram. Might have to run through those tailings. So we've got our nice dry gold. Now, let's see if it's a gram, or if we need to go through our tailings again. So we just turn the scales on. Nice and gentle. Ooh, 0.8. 0.83, so we're going to have to go back through those tailings again, but that will be for another time. Okay guys, I'd like to say just a really, really big thank you for Matt for doing this challenge with me. Don't forget to like and subscribe to me, not just me, but also Matt too. And don't forget, got to get that glitter. See you next time.
Like and subscribe. Hash gotta get that glitter.